Many months ago, maybe a year, I invited in Neil Least of the Claremont Northeastern School. He's the superintendent. He's the Jeff Henderson of that school district. And he was a dumpster diver. In fact, he's still a dumpster diver. And now he's in the studio with one of his principals. And he has a book out, Superintendent Savings and Strategies. And Neil, welcome again to the Bill Cunningham Show.
Hey, honored to be here.
Isn't this nice here? Talk to me. Every time I talk to anybody in education, it's a disaster. I look at Lakota. Great. Lakota West, Lakota East, and they got $4.5 million they're done with, and now you have to take everybody to school. Everybody I talk to, we're in trouble. How much financial trouble is Claremont Northeastern in?
Well, Bill, we're like everyone else. We're stretching the dollar, trying to stretch the dollar. The money is not there right now. And, there's a good chance we may have to make some cuts this year also. But the book, which I wrote at your request, as a matter of fact, when I was in last time, I thought, why in the world would I
told you to write a book. You ought to write a book.
You said, write a book and have you back on.
Yeah.
So I went home and talked to my wife, and there had been a few people around home that had said that, and I just let it go in one ear and out the other. And finally, in the beginning of 2010, we started writing it. It took about 10 months. But we've got it written, and I really appreciate you being a man of your word and having us back on to promote the book. And
happy to have it.
It's been quite a year in 2010 for Claremont Northeastern Schools. This isn't just about me, Bill, or about the book. It's about a process that we put together at Claremont Northeastern, and this process takes everybody involved to be a part of it. The board, with Patty and Janie and Mike and Dave and Danny, the board I work for, they not only let me think outside the box, they go there with me and help out.
So it's not just diving in dumpsters. You have a list here. You've picked up 1,000 computers, hundreds of filing cabinets, dozens of TVs, dozens of cubicles, $30,000 snowplow from Miami Township, dozens of fax machines and printers. Explain the process. If CNE needs something, what is the process that you go and actually don't pay for it?
Well, I think it starts with the chamber, and this may surprise a lot of people, but most of my contacts and networking that we've done has been through the chamber. And, I want to throw a thank you out there to Matt Van Sant and Sin and Sherry and Julie at the chamber. When we go to those events and we became a chamber member, that's where we started networking. And then we put together a little mini chamber within our district. We call it the Business Partnership Dinner. So if I could take 3 things out of this book where I've got a top 10 list that other school districts could do to help stretch the dollar, number 1 would be get out today and join the chamber. If you're not a member of the chamber right now today in a business or a nonprofit or a school district in Claremont County, call Sin and Sherry up today and become a member, because that networking that goes on at those meetings is huge for you to make the contacts.
Saves you. So in the good old days, before you were a Claremont County Northeastern superintendent, which began about 3.5 years ago, if you needed 100 computers, you would go to a store or go to a company and you'd order 100 computers and pay
$1,500 is about the norm for a computer.
So you'd pay $15,000.
Well, we have 500. We have 500 computers in the district, and we've replaced them. 4 years ago, we replaced them whenever we first started this, and then this past year we've replaced them again. So we've replaced over 400 computers twice in 4 years. For free with 2 to 3 year old Pentium 4s. Andy Seals does a great job with those computers, and then goes out and travels anywhere from Lexington to Cleveland to Columbus and picks those up. And a lot of state and federal government agencies turn those computers over every 2 years.
So what you do then, your goal is to buy nothing at Claremont Northeast and trade and get it. And if you get objects that you don't really need or you have too many, you might call other school districts. No one makes any money. You say, hey, do you need 500 desks? Do you need cubicles? And then you trade them and give them to somebody else.
Well, we've had a few extra items, not very many, that we've shared with the local school district, and then St. Louis, the Catholic school there in Owensville. So we have shared some of the things that we've brought in, but it's worked out great for us. I know when I go out and make contacts with businesses, either at a chamber event or at our business partnership dinner we usually have in October or November of each year, I never go out with my hand out asking for cash. I have a top 10 list that I share with them, that what we can do for them, but yet what they can do for us. And those tangible items is one of the top 10 that they have to pay money, Bill, to get those tangible items removed from their offices, especially the technology. They can't just throw that in a dumpster. They got to pay to get it removed. So we'll come in as a nonprofit, a school district, and remove those items for them for free and go and put them to good use within our school district. So
now when you were here at Clear Channel, we have 50% of the personnel we used to have. And I put you in touch with Chuck Frederick. And how much stuff did you pull out of here?
Bill, we probably got 2 pickup loads of tangible items out of your office right here.
Right here.
But then we went downtown next to Xavier,
Right.
and you had a 10 to 15,000 square foot building you were shutting down, and we got 80% of that. We probably got 5 to 6 16-foot trailer loads of tangible items for free.
How big trailers?
16-foot trailers, flatbed
16
and box
flatbed
trailers.
filled with stuff that had to have, it would have cost CNE
Hundreds of thousands.
hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you got them for zero.
Yeah.
Now, why don't other superintendents do this?
Well, it takes time, and I know with the mandates that the state and federal government puts on a lot of these school districts, it eats up a lot of time. But I know when I was hired, I was told by the board and I was told by the treasurer, there's 2 things you need to work on. Number 1 is stretching the dollar, and then work on some PR situations around here, because we really didn't feel that we were getting out and meeting the needs of the community and the businesses in the area. So that's kind of where this came from, to keep our heads above water financially. But we're turning a lot of these partnerships, Bill, into educational partnerships to benefit the students, because that's what this is all about.
Yeah, you can say, okay, you now know little companies, medium companies, and big companies, and when you take out the stuff they got to pay to have somebody haul it away, then you take it to CNE. On the other side of the coin, you know the hiring director at Muzak, you know the hiring director, and you can say, okay, I got 10 kids graduating, and let's connect them up in the summer to see if you think they're pretty good and see if they think they like to work for you.
Yeah, Mike Lemon at ITI, they take interns in. I know we've worked real well with Tata, the new group from India that's in our district. They came in last year, Bill, and put a $100,000 upgrade on our website for free, just because of the partnership that we'd formed with them.
$100,000 free.
$100,000 free website.
How happy is the board with you? I mean, if I'm you, I double your salary, and then because some other Lakota's going to come hire you at some point. Somebody's going to hire you to a big school.
No, I like it right where I'm at. It's a small community. The board, I think, appreciates what I've done. Last year, they did give me a 5-year extension, so I appreciate that. The 5-year extension was much appreciated. And I got to go back, Bill, and tell a little story here about a lady by the name of Rose Bauer.
Tell us 2 stories. This is an incredible story about Rose Bauer, and then the other story.
Yeah, Rose Bauer. I know the day or 2 after I was off the air with you last time. That was October 6th of 2009. I get a phone call at work the next day, and a lady by the name of Rose Bauer calls me up outside the district and said, hey, #1 fan of Bill Cunningham. I've got a pickup load of office supplies I want you to come up and get. And I said, I'll be there tomorrow. So
the superintendent gets in a truck.
Pickup truck with my assistant principal. My administrators go with me.
These are the officers, and you're picking up stuff out of a woman's house.
We went that day after school hours. We went to her house to pick it up. We loaded up 5 or 6 cases of paper. She was a retired realtor. We got 5 or 6 cases of paper, boxes of pens and pencils, never been used, brand new, several $100s worth of office supplies, maybe a couple thousand. And I told her, I said, you know what, Bill Cunningham recommended I write a book, and I'm going to write that book just for Bill Cunningham. And when I'm on his show next time to promote that book, I'm going to mention your name. Well, she got so excited. She listens to you every day. She said, since you're going to mention my name, she said, you see that piano and organ? It's CNE's. So she made us take that piano and organ out of there and donate that to the school district just because we knew you. And we
What's her name again?
There. Rose Bauer.
And where does she live? What part of town?
The north side of the county.
North side of the county.
Better not say, because I don't want to offend the school district.
CNE. Which kind of geographically where in Claremont County is CNE? Is it in Batavia? It's in
Owensville.
Owensville. Where's Owensville?
Claremont North. It's on the northeast side of Claremont County.
Northeast is up that way.
Yeah.
And you've been there. You were first team All-State in basketball.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm shooting Byron Larkin and Bobby Brannon at halftime of the Muller game this Friday night against LaSalle. Do you think I can beat Larkin and Brannon at the Muller gym at halftime in free throw shooting? Deer Park's finest. Could you beat them?
Well, I would think you could beat them with one hand tied behind your back.
They never could shoot.
No.
Larkin and Brannon.
I've heard about your shooting.
Yeah, they can't shoot.
No, that's for sure.
No,
I got one more story I got to share.
Tell the story about the other guy.
Our district's had a great year in 2010. We've been rated excellent for the first time ever due to a great staff and a great group of administrators. But then our elementary school was the National Blue Ribbon Award winner this year and was presented an award in Washington, D.C. by Arne Duncan, the Secretary of Education. On the way back home, I stopped in Morgantown, West Virginia, and visited a 8th grade school teacher of mine, social studies teacher, by the name of Mr. Popovich, and gave him a book.
Popovich.
He liked it so well, he wants to promote that book in West Virginia for me, but he's nearing 80 years old. He's had a couple strokes, and he says he doesn't have long to go. And I said, no, we need you to stick around for a little while. But he's going to listen today. He's got a professor from West Virginia going to come over and drive him to the library today so he can listen to this on there. And I want to say hi to Mr. Popovich. And one of his last wishes, he said, you tell Bill Cunningham this, because I've seen him on Fox and Friends and those shows. He said one of his last wishes is to see one of his students on the Huckabee Show. So that's one of his last wishes.
He wants to be on Mike Huckabee on Fox.
He wants to be on Mike Huckabee.
And his name is Popovich.
His name is Stephen Popovich.
Stephen Popovich, 80 years old. We call him
the mayor of Morgantown.
And he's, the key here, I think, Neil, superintendent savings and strategies, is that school districts that are hurting, if every superintendent had the desire to save millions and millions of dollars, maybe the schools wouldn't be that much financial trouble. Do you think any school district could do this?
Well, and Bill, I mentioned the top three. Number one, join the chamber. Have a business partnership dinner or an event like it to where you get those business leaders in there and award them. We award a business partnership every year with a little plaque in front of we had about 220 people this year, so that's huge. And then start spending money like it's your own. I think that's huge. And I can't go over all 10 or 12 suggestions I put in the book, but board members are loving this book. Sales are going pretty well. I gave a talk at the Ohio School Board Association in Columbus in November. The evaluations were so good, the executive director called me back up and going to ask me to come up on April 29th to be a keynote speaker to share this. And one of the two reasons I wrote this book is, number one, just so the grandkids would have something to read about what Grandpa did and when he worked there at CNE. But number two, I wanted other school districts across not only the state but the country to be able to read this book and be able to save their district some money and stretch the dollar.
And also help the kids, get the kids back into business.
It's all about the kids. What can you say?
How much money have you saved CNE? Do you have any idea in the last 3.5 years?
It's hard to tell, Bill. Because it's over a long stretch of time. This book doesn't save districts from doing a levy immediately. This is a process that we've put together with the chamber, with my administration, with my team. This isn't Neil Leist going out and doing all this. This is a team, the board, everybody working together. It's a way of thinking, and it's a process that school districts need to start looking in to more of this common sense way of stretching the dollar. And
How many points a game did you average, Neil, in high school?
22. I broke the school record at 1,100.
Well, I averaged 25.
Well, you're a better man than I am.
22, but you were first team All-State.
First team All-State.
I was just first team All-City.
Well, I made All-State.
And you're a short little guy. You're like 5'8".
I'm 5'8.5".
5'8.5".
So, yeah, that's it, buddy.
It's unbelievable. So the book, where can you get the book? Because I want every school district in Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio, and the proceeds of this book benefits a foundation, correct, or a charity? Yeah,
this goes to, you can go to neilleist.com, NEILLEIST.com, and it tells you a little bit about the book and how you can get one. And I do want to mention that Danny Bupp, Mr. Bupp.
Colonel Bupp.
Yeah, there you go. He bought a book and liked it so well, he sent it to another House member by the name of Jerry Stebleton from Pickerington. And he is the chairman of the Education Finance Committee of the House, and they've invited me up to join them for a meeting Tuesday morning at 9:30 to go over some of the saving strategy ways that are in the book, and let the House of Representatives take a look at it.
It's not even 100 pages. It's the life and times of Neil Leist with Robert Parrish and strategies of saving taxpayer dollars. And I want to get you back on. I love being around people like you. It gives me hope in public education. I see so many failures. I read about them. I see failures all the time. When I get around people like you, it makes me feel better.
Well, I appreciate that. And I do want to say hi to Robert Parrish. He was the editor for the book, and he took my country stories and kind of turned them into book form. So I want to make sure I tell Robert, and he's going to have me on his show in the Tank in Cincinnati this Thursday at 7:30.
So it's neilleist.com, is that it?
neilleist.com.
Leist. And everyone should get this book. Every member of every school board in the tri-state should have this book, which would save. I can't imagine that it's more than $10 million that you save CNE in 3.5 years. It's got to be millions and millions of dollars. And you told me off the air that there's no levy planned anytime soon, right?
Yeah, we think we can make it a few more years without a levy. We're just trying to stretch the dollar, and it's a team effort, Bill.
Do you have buses every morning?
We do have buses.
Are you closed tomorrow? Are you closed already?
Well, I would say the chances of being closed tomorrow and Friday, if that white death keeps coming our way, will be highly.
What about Kasich, though? He told me he's going to increase the snow days from 3 to 5. Would that help?
We'll take them, Bill.
And otherwise, you'll be in school in spring break and summer.
Yeah, going to school on July 4th.
Excellent school district. And just saving money.
It is rated excellent. And that Blue Ribbon Award, that building's ran by Glenda Green and Val Davis. They do an excellent job over there with their staff. And 5 years running excellent. and one of only 5 elementary schools in the state of Ohio that won the National Blue Ribbon Award. That's huge for our district.
And where'd you play high school ball?
Eastern High School in Pike County, Ohio, about 100 miles straight east down 32.
Down 32. Neil Leist with Robert Parrish. It's the great. I like being around people like you.
I appreciate it.
All right. We got to run. Thank you. And coming up at 2 o'clock is a man who says the federal government, while you're at work, is at home inspecting your toilets. Do you believe that, Neil?
Well, I find that hard to believe. My wife's at home at noon, so I hope no one's visiting.
I hope no one's there with her. All right. Neil Leist, thank you very much. And it's the best. I got to come to CNE at some point. I've never been there, I don't think.
Well, I tell you what. Let's
shoot baskets.
Instead of a basketball, wait a minute now. Let's do a golf out at Jeff. You know Jeff Osterfeld.
Sure, at
Stone Lick Golf Course. Yeah. He owns Penn Station. He's got a great golf course.
Let's go play
there.
golf.
Let's challenge. My wife and
Penny.
Candy and I will play you and your wife in a game.
Why don't we have best ball or just best ball and maybe play for dinner somewhere fancy?
That sounds good.
But if I beat Larkin, can I call you and
call me?
And
I'll
tee
take
it up with
how about
you?
if I just take the winner on?
You take the winner on at CNE.
There you go.
How's the basketball team this year?
We're doing real well. Steve Mummert's the head coach out there, and we are tied for first in the league and on a roll.
But can I beat Byron Larkin and Bobby Brandon at Muller High School Friday night?
Blindfolded would make it even.
Yeah, because those guys never could shoot.
No.
They can't shoot. We white guys know how to shoot. No question. All right, let's continue with more. Neil, you're the best.
Thank you, sir.
Let's continue. And how about the website of CNE? If you're listening around the tri-state, how do you get on the website?
It is CNE Schools.
www.cneschools.org.
CNEschools.org.
That's simple. Neil, thank you. Yep. Let's continue. Billy Cunningham, 700 WLW.